Alright, I've had a few questions, a few comments about where I got my switch, how I wired it, and things of that nature on my air filtration system. So I'm going to make a real quick video, and it'll be a lot easier for me to just show you guys how I did it than try to write a couple paragraphs on it. So this video is just going to be a real quick one to show you kind of how I wired it in, my switches and everything, and how I did my different speeds, because most blowers, you're always going to have at least a high speed and low speed. In most newer blower motors, you'll have 4 wires, actually 5. You have your 4-speed, which is going to be your load side, and for whatever, like I said, whatever speed you want, and you're always going to have your neutral wire. So I have everything kind of pulled apart here, except for my timer. That is kind of a bear. Definitely recommend getting a little deeper box, and then maybe an extension on top of that. So that thing is, it just barely fits in there. But I'll go ahead and run through real quick how I actually wired it up and got everything going. So we'll go ahead and start with the timer switch first. And this is what I ended up doing, is just mounting it on the side here. I know this isn't the safest thing to do, but I had an old extension cord. It's industrial grade. The end burned out. Somebody threw it in the trash. And I've just been using it around my shop for the last 10 years, little odds and ends and stuff. But it's 12 gauge, so it'll handle more than enough. And I just bought a regular plug-in here and picked this up. I picked this up at Home Depot. I picked that up at Home Depot. I picked up another switch I'll show you later on the Home Depot. 15 amp. Very easy to wire up. Basically, just there's a screw on the back side here. As you can see, pull both of them off. The whole thing comes apart. You'll see, basically, you have your ground, which is going to be green. Your green side, always use a grounded wire. I cannot stress that enough, because if anything ever shorts out, it's not going to shock you. It's going to go straight back to your panel and trip out, and you'll be safe. So basically, you're going to have your ground low, which is going to be green, a silver-looking one, which is going to be your neutral, and then you're going to have a copper one, which is going to be your line side. So your copper is always going to be black, your light colored plug-ins always going to be white, and your green is always going to be your ground. And you come up through here, and all you do is you just get a wire nut, take both of your whites, tie those together with a wire nut. Then you're going to have a ground lug on the back of your switch here. Basically, you take a wire. I like to just put like a little wire, tie that on there, and keep it about this long, and take the green from here, and your ground green wire from here, tie them together with a wire nut. And then all you have is your 2 blacks left. You're going to see on one side it'll say line side, and the other side is going to be load side. Your line side is obviously your line, your power coming in, so you tie that black wire into this side. Your load is going to be whatever you have that's going to be running off of this, which in my case is going to be my blower wheel, or my blower motor. So then you tie this black wire onto your load side, and that's what runs this here. So that being said, let's go ahead. You can see that's how I got it wired up. It's kind of next to my dust collector and stuff. It's out of the way, but it's very easy to reach and get over here. And I really like the fact that it's 12 hours. You see a lot of them where they're a maximum of 4. Well, there's a lot of times when I'm out here in the morning and I'm out here for a lot longer than 4 hours. So I can come in here and I can just crank this all the way up and have it on low speed, just when I'm doing normal cuts. And when I would want to do some kind of sanding, or if I clean my shop, do some sweeping, I'll crank it on high speed and set it for 1 hour right here, and I'll just walk off. And it's great because it gets probably 95% of all the dust that you could possibly think of. I mean, it works great. You're never going to get rid of all the dust, but it makes a huge difference. And up here, as you can see, I have it mounted directly onto my ceiling. And this is what I ended up doing here. Actually, let me make sure this is unplugged while I'm showing you guys this. Even though the switch is off, be as safe as possible here. And we'll come back. Okay, what I ended up doing here is this is a 15 amp single pole double throw. What that means is you basically, if you look here, I have this is my power coming from over there, and you tie that right here into your center of the single pole double throw switch. I just got a blank plate and I just drilled a hole so this thing slides in there. Basically, you put your power coming from your main switch here, and then what I wanted to do is have two different speeds hooked up. So if I want to run low, there's low, because that's actually switching it up. Red's low speed, and you can shut it off or have it on high speed. So I wanted to have 2-speed. This is a very simple way to do it, and it's very effective. And as you can see, I tied my grounds on, and all I did is I just tied my neutrals together. And if you look in here, give you a little better look at what is happening in here. And to answer the other question, actually, I guess that switch there is an intermatic. I picked that up at Home Depot. You go back in the, like on mine, it's in the corner of the Home Depot, kind of by the building materials, where the attic fans are. They have a couple different ones. I got the 12-hour one. Now, to answer the other question is, how would I wire up my blower motor? And like I said, if it's an older motor you have, you're going to basically have 3 wires. You're going to have your neutral, which I have tied on, with a wire nut inside that junction box there. And then you're going to have, basically, your red is always going to be low speed, black is always going to be high. If you have a newer one, you're going to have 4 wires plus your neutral. And how that goes is you have red is low, medium high, and your black's going to be your high. I decided to go with low and high. This blower motor I have, it's the smallest one I could find, but it's still pretty large. It blows a lot of air. So when I'm working out here, especially now that it's winter, I want to be able to, this thing, even in low speed, moves a lot of air, and it can, on high speed, it'll make it kind of chilly in here. It'll cool the air down too much. Low speed seems to work out just perfectly. And I didn't even use the blue, which is medium low, or the yellow, which is medium high. There's no juice going through these. I just taped them off so that way they're completely out of the way, not touching anything, and that works good. That's all. That's how easy it is to hook these things up, though. If you have any more questions, hopefully I answered everything for you. But that's all you have to do. And like I said, always make sure everything's grounded. But very simple, very easy. This ties back in here like this. Something like that. And like right now I'm in high, low speed. Works out great. That's how I ended up wiring my fan up. And the other thing when I'm talking about stuff here is also at Home Depot at the same time. Instead of running over and turning on my dust collector all the time, you're probably wondering what that little black thing plugged in right next to it is. You can get these. It's a remote for a dust collector. Works great. You can pick this up. I think this was under $15. And if anybody's ever looked at these things from one of the main the wood shops or wood stores, they want about, I've seen them anywhere from $60 to $80, and a lot of them just run off of, you have to wire this stuff here in, or for the $60 one to be able to handle that. So anytime you turn like your table saw or something on, it'll sense the load and it'll turn your dust collector on. This here, I think this was like 14 something, and it'll handle all the way up to 12 amps or 14 amps. My dust collector, I think it only runs 11 amps, so this thing is way big enough. I've been using this for probably a month and a half now. I just love it, and I'll show you that. It's got a little light, little LED, so you know when it's on or off. Just plugs in here. Dust collector goes right in the bottom there. Mounted that right next to it. Works out great. But hopefully I answered you guys' questions on everything. Like I said, the switch here, Intermatic, backed by the attic fans. Single pull, double throw, toggle. And then it goes right back into how I wired it up there. So hopefully that answers any questions. I'm very, very pleased with this thing. It works great. I just use the 2 filters. One bought it's a 1500 Filtry for my main filter. Works great. 2-inch filter, as you can see, lots of buildup on there. And that's stuff that would have ended up going all over your shop and basically in your nose too, having them nice particle board burgers. So all in all, hopefully that answers any questions. I was going to make a short video, ended up being a little bit longer than I thought, but hopefully that helps out everybody that had any questions or anything. So if you have any more, just let me know and I'll try to help you guys out. Thanks for watching the videos, and I'll just keep on posting stuff as I build and do different projects around here. So thanks for watching again, and let me know how everything goes. Thanks.